I think if Canelo was using the jab effectively, hard, the guy wouldn't have been able to come in because the guy was coming in because he wasn't worried about Canelo's jab. So he got more aggressive and he got brave. If you're not jabbing, he has no defense.
You know, I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. You know, coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react.
He's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's going to go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford.
Mike Tyson shares serious concern about Canelo's future, saying a defeat to Terence Crawford could hurt his career. He explains that in past fights, Canelo has not used his jab well, which gave opponents chances to gain confidence and move, and Tyson suggests that this time Canelo needs to improve his jab, using it with accuracy and consistency to control the fight and stop Crawford from building momentum.
He's not going to jab. The guy's going to walk right in on him like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight. Oh, he was really basic, you know.
Veteran boxing analyst Teddy Atlas notes that Canelo Alvarez has taken on a wide range of elite opponents in several weight classes, giving him one of the strongest records in boxing. In comparison, Terence Crawford has not faced as many big-name fighters as fans might expect for someone of his level. Still, Atlas explains that greatness is not only about the length of a record, but the skills and adaptability to shown in the ring. He believes Crawford's sharp timing, smart use of angles, and strong ring control can neutralize Canelo's physical edge. According to Atlas, Crawford's calm mindset and ability to adjust during a fight could be the key to beating a seasoned champion like Alvarez.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. And I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it? You know, but those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
The stakes for Canelo Alvarez in this fight go far beyond the result on paper. Terence Crawford is stepping up 2 weight classes, which makes the challenge unusual, but also puts extra pressure on Canelo. If he loses, people will question how he failed against a naturally smaller opponent despite having the edge in size, power, and experience. Such a loss could create doubts about his place in the sport and hurt his reputation as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters of his generation. This is why the fight already carries huge risk for Canelo before it even begins.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. You know, coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react. And you just think, you know, you just going to come up and beat me. We seen it with Charlo, his videos, how he was looking, you know, moving around the ring. And everybody thought, you know, that might work. And we saw what happened come fight night. Crawford is a skillful guy, but like, who has he really beaten? Spence. After Spence, you know, now all of a sudden he can jump up 2 weight classes and beat Canelo. I don't see it. If I'm Canelo, I would have to make a statement with Crawford. Canelo cannot lose this fight. He shouldn't lose this.
David Benavidez speaks with certainty about Terence Crawford's place among the best. He sees Crawford as a fighter with skill and focus that set him apart from most boxers today. Benavidez highlights his smooth stance switching, steady mindset under pressure, and control of the fight no matter who he faces. He believes this mix of calmness and sharp technique makes Crawford a tough challenge for anyone. In his view, Crawford's real advantage is not just his physical ability, but his fight IQ, which lets him break down and wear down even the most experienced opponents.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Errol Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make.
Jeff Mayweather points out the exceptional technical skill that has defined Terence Crawford's career. noting his ability to read opponents and adjust his strategy with precision. While he gives Crawford the edge in pure boxing technique, Mayweather reminds fans that Canelo Alvarez's power and experience cannot be ignored. Canelo has shown repeatedly that a single well-timed punch can change a fight, and he has handled high-pressure bouts against some of the sport's biggest names. Jeff warns that underestimating Canelo's ability to adapt and exploit openings would be a serious mistake for Crawford or anyone facing him in the ring.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win.
Max Kellerman emphasizes the jab as a crucial factor in this fight. He explains that Crawford's jab is one of the most accurate and effective in modern boxing, helping him control distance, set up combinations, and disrupt his opponent's rhythm. This skill in managing the pace has been key to Crawford's success. Kellerman compares this to Canelo Alvarez, whose jab was once a powerful tool for stopping aggressive fighters. In recent years, however, Canelo's jab has become less consistent and less frequent, which could make him vulnerable to Crawford's precise use of the lead hand.
In that attribute, first attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off.
Gary Anchuin Russell highlights the cultural and stylistic differences that shape boxing matchups. He explains that Canelo Alvarez represents the traditional Mexican style, combining calculated pressure with strong body shots and sharp counterpunching. In contrast, Russell says Terence Crawford brings the rhythm, fluidity, and defensive awareness often seen in styles developed by African-American fighters. This clash of styles creates an interesting dynamic, as each boxer will try to impose his own pace while countering the strengths of the other.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know. And I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. I'm talking about like not 12-round shape, I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Trainer Robert Garcia has expressed full support for Terence Crawford in this major fight. Garcia praises Crawford's work ethic, discipline, and focus on mastering boxing fundamentals. He believes Crawford's success at the top level is good for the sport, highlighting the importance of technical skill and ring intelligence. While Garcia respects Canelo Alvarez and his achievements, he is personally hoping to see Crawford come out on top.
You know, I love Crawford. He knows that. I've seen him. I've talked to him many times, and I wish him the best. I'm actually very happy for him and Bomac for everything they've done and the big fight that they're getting. You know, in this sport, making it to those fights and making it to those paydays, you got to be happy for anybody that makes it there. So Bomac knows, Crawford knows. Now I'm actually, after Canelo's performance, I'm actually leaning towards Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford's he's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I think Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford to win now.
Omari Jones believes Crawford's preparation for this fight shows true professionalism. Instead of gaining weight quickly and risking speed or stamina, Crawford has carefully added mass through a focused program of nutrition and conditioning. This approach lets him maintain the agility that makes his style effective while also building the strength needed to face a naturally bigger opponent like Canelo. Jones sees this strategy as giving Crawford the best chance to win while reducing the physical disadvantages of moving up in weight.
And like me personally meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He'll just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitiveness is always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that like, I'm not gonna let you bully me, or his skill set. And it, I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around because Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that, it's a win-win.
So you don't think Crawford, gaining that weight, because I saw him, he's pretty big. You don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on the right way. The nutrition, the like I said, the training. Crawford, he trains hard, so I feel like, I know they say he probably went up to like 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know, like we discussed earlier, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it was actually your 3rd win by knockout.
Yeah.
Super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off to a great start.
Paulie Malignaggi contributes by highlighting Crawford's skill in balancing his physical preparation. He notes that Crawford has added enough muscle to handle Canelo's power while keeping the speed needed to land counters and avoid pressure. Malignaggi credits this to Crawford's disciplined training camp and careful attention to every detail, from diet to sparring strategy. This level of preparation could be crucial in determining whether Crawford can effectively impose his style against Canelo.
Wait, what's your thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, Roy Jones is Roy Jones, but also Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz is not Canelo Alvarez. So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this, even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight. We see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself.
Stephen Breadman Edwards emphasizes Crawford's mastery of movement as key to his success. He explains that Crawford's control of distance forces opponents into awkward positions, causing them to miss and exposing them to counters. Combined with top-level conditioning, this allows Crawford to keep a high pace throughout 12 rounds without tiring. Edwards believes this movement will be essential in countering Canelo's pressure and stopping him from trapping Crawford against the ropes. He also notes that Crawford's mental toughness keeps him composed even under heavy attack.
Heavy fire.
He slips. He's really good. But Crawford is just so clutch. His conditioning is so good. They're gonna be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller. He's longer, and I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lazy fight. Canelo, for as good as he is, he hasn't stopped anybody since 2021. That's 4 years. You know why? Because he gets a little tired and gets like a little bit complacent. He's a power puncher. Anybody that punched that hard don't want to go 4 years without a stoppage. He haven't got a stoppage because he don't have the conditioning and the stamina to push a guy over the edge after he hurt him or after, when the guy's running away from him, to still be able to go get him. He don't want to go the distance in all these fights. You think he wants to go the distance with Jamel Charlo and John Ryder and Edgar Berlanga and Triple G at 68? He don't want to, but he don't have that extra gear anymore, in my opinion, to get guys out of there.
Canelo Alvarez's recent fight against William Skull has raised concerns among analysts and fans. His activity was lower than usual, and his movements lacked the speed and accuracy seen in his prime. Rather than driving the action, Canelo often responded to Skull's offense, giving his opponent more room than expected. This hesitation has sparked questions about whether Canelo still has the stamina and sharpness to control top-level opponents over 12 rounds. Critics worry that if these issues continue, a versatile fighter like Crawford could take advantage.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled, and he did handle him, but you know what I mean, he probably would have put some damage on William Skull. He didn't do anything.
Sean Porter and other analysts agree that Crawford's path to victory depends on a game plan focused on controlling distance and using smart angles. By constantly shifting position and making Canelo adjust, Crawford can slow his opponent's forward momentum. Over time, this strategy could drain Canelo both physically and mentally. Porter stresses that mental discipline will be as important as physical skill in this fight. The fighter who stays calm, focused, and consistent from the opening bell to the final round is most likely to win.
And that, so I haven't seen that Terence Crawford against Canelo in these two press conferences. They're having dinner, they have the presser in Riyadh, they have the presser in New York. That's a weak ass push by Canelo. And that is not Canelo, what he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. He slipped him and then slapped him, and that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting a knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win, but. I don't want to get too deep into it today, but my thoughts on the the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right, is an afterthought.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time.